What's up, guys? Welcome to A Vibe Call West Radio. Today we have a very special guest, Finn Mathews.
What's up, everybody?
So I have actually kind of a previous relationship with Finn. I met him at this event with Muzicswipe. Shout out Muzicswipe. We both performed at the Peppermint Club, and it's actually kind of amazing that, we're able to now reconvene, at the beginning of the year. So I can really ask, how's the year been, man?
Bro, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this year has been a year where I've really come into myself, and I've really figured out who I am as a person. And I feel like I'll continue to do that. But yeah, it's crazy. Just it's kind of weird because I'm 23, but this is the first year where I feel like I'm a real ass adult. And there's been things that have come up where I've had to really rise to the occasion and become an adult. And so we ain't playing around this year.
Of course, man. I think it's it's a normal sentiment. Everyone, when you're trying to find yourself, and you're 23, it's you haven't spent that much time with yourself.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that once you kind of reach that age, you're wow, I feel like I understand what needs to be done, kind of how I want to operate. And I think that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
And you are really young, and to me do my research and find out all that you've accomplished and done, it's something to be celebrated.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, of course, man. And
not yet, but you know what I'm saying?
No, I think it's important even along the journey to give the flowers. And I'm a fan of yours, so maybe I'm a little biased, but
I'm a fan of yours as well, bro.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. So today though, guys, it's really important for us to figure out why musicians like certain albums and songs. So we took Finn's favorite song, we put it underneath the microscope, and we put it into an Elite 8 tournament bracket. The way that we seeded the songs is based on total number of streams. The way they progress is Finn's opinion. The album that he chose is Continuum by John Mayer.
Legendary album.
Legendary album.
Legendary.
Why did you choose that album?
It was a really hard question for me to answer. I thought about it for probably 3 hours.
It's good.
I was just in my room I went through a few, a couple honorable mentions would be Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder, Graduation by Kanye, The X by Ed Sheeran, great album, and a couple other ones, but this one ended up being the one I chose because there's just so many different ways that it spoke to me, and I feel like this album came into my life at a really good time, and it really changed the way I looked at music. This album, I would say, is the reason why I play electric guitar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, then,
so it's crazy because everyone's got their guitar hero, and I would say John Mayer's mine. So when I was 17 maybe, I kind of got put onto this album. I had heard the hits and shit, but I got put onto the whole body of work. And yeah, I just remember hearing the guitar solos, and they're so lyrical in the way he phrased them, and the way he wrote it. It's almost like the guitar solo is its own voice.
Literally.
And that kind of I had never heard that because all I had been on was R&B and pop music that they don't really utilize the guitar solos like that. So yeah, it kind of just changed the way I look at music. That's why I chose it.
It's actually amazing that you say that because I've never really thought about it like that, but it's so true. When you think about guitar solos, those are full sections of the songs that people are literally interpreting as a voice. That's why they can stand alone. Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense when you say it like that. And I also want to say, so just candidly, we talked about this a little bit before he came on. There's so many, there's so many great albums, but it's hard to choose a favorite album because it depends on the mood.
100%.
And the way some of the albums you were describing, you're going to want to listen to them in a certain mindset.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy for the sake of the show and you being a homie for actually choosing one. So thank you for doing that.
That shit was hard.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and then I always like to do this exercise, and it's always funny because artists, you're a very, authentic, modest, nice guy. So it's a good exercise. So I want you to imagine that you get into an elevator with John Mayer.
Goddamn.
What would you say to him? Just kind of tell him, but also because you know what he does, what would you say when he asks what you do?
I would invite him to my studio and I'd say, come hear what I do.
That's so sick.
But the first thing I'd say to him is, I love you.
Of
That's
course.
the first thing I would say.
Yeah, it's a great answer. I love the confidence in that, and just because you are a songwriter and you are a producer, so it's step into my world and just kind of see what I do.
And I think being in LA for a while, I've kind of learned to let the art speak for itself, because everyone's got shit to say. Everyone's got their elevator pitch that they give you when you meet them in public. But and I noticed no one really takes me seriously till they hear the music. because everyone's saying shit and not everyone's actually like on that level, you know? So I just like to let the art speak for itself, you know?
I think that's a great sentiment. I think that, like, you know, young people, because a lot of people actually that watch this, it's all these young kids that want to make music. So it's a really great sentiment to hear, is like, let the music speak for yourself, because that's going to open up more doors than you trying to yell at the door. Let me in, let me in. The
and there's times where you got to champion yourself and yell and all that, but
like right here.
Yeah, right here.
Because, man, like, you're fucking dope, and that's why you're on here.
Thank you, man.
This was going to be this. So with that in mind, guys, I wanted to do that fun exercise of putting Finn in the same room as John Mayer. Now it's time for him to actually go to the board and figure out the first 2 matchups of this just, you know, kind of fun exercise we're doing. So the first one is going to be Slow Dancing in a Burning Room versus I Don't Trust Myself with Loving You.
Slow Dancing in a Burning Room wins that one off rip. Yeah.
Please expand on that. Why would you break down that? Like, why do you like that song more?
I love I Don't Trust Myself. That's a great song. And that was actually like my favorite song on the album for a time. But, you know, certain shit ages in a certain way. And Slow Dancing in a Burning Room lyrically is just like so fucking timeless.
Amazing.
And there's also a live version, which is like one of my favorite. You know, the Live in LA version?
I actually haven't heard that one.
It's one of my favorite live performances of all time.
I'll listen to that.
So I might be a little biased, but yeah, that song all day.
Well, it's good to be biased. It's your list. It makes sense. You know what I mean? That's dope. I think, you know, it's crazy. Like,
I'm biased as fuck.
Exactly. When it's my shit, what I like. No, it's great that I love the way that you broke that down. Were you surprised that Slow Dancing in a Burning Room was number 1? Or do any of these surprise you, like, of the seedings? Like, because they're based on just popularity.
Oh, so it's popularity?
Yes, I just did it like based on like, so Slow Dancing in the Burning Room.
Heart of Life is the least popular?
No, actually, it's going to be 8. So I just did
so there's some that aren't on here, right?
Yeah, so I can only do 8 songs.
Got you.
And then I just did it with total number of streams on Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's the top one.
That's the top one.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's when I do these lists, I'm like, I'm always so surprised with the seating of it.
I would have thought Gravity was number 1.
That's what I thought too. I was so confused with that, actually, like, straight up. Awesome. So Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. I agree. I love this album too, by the way. So this is awesome. And now it's gonna be the next matchup is Waiting on the World to Change versus Vultures. Which one do you think is gonna move on?
I'm gonna put Vultures on there because I remember I figured out that guitar riff by myself, and I was proud of that. And also, I heard "Waiting on the World to Change" like since I was younger.
Yeah.
So I think
it's like in every
by the time
in America.
I got put onto the album, I was tired of that shit already. But yeah, Vultures, great song. And I also relate to that. You know, like in LA, there's like, you know, what the song's about is like vultures waiting outside your door trying to get stuff out of you, and like
literally,
that shit is too relatable.
You know what's really cool about this as well is like the mechanism for the interview is like just by you talking about like vultures, like you just told me something is like you learn to play that, and then also it relates to your life in that way. So it's like that's what I love about this exercise, because it actually allows you to sometimes just start talking about. I don't even need to ask the questions. You just start talking about yourself. So
yeah.
So it's great like that.
I'm very passionate about music, so I could talk about it for hours.
I love that, man. Then we're definitely in the right podcast for this.
Yes,
This is awesome. So now, guys, we are going to transition to just some of the questions that I came up with my team. You are from Linwood, New Jersey, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So you moved here when you were 16.
Yeah.
That's like a really remarkable move.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And you know, when I wanted to ask, how much did a day in Linwood with 15-year-old Finn differ from the day 16-year-old Finn in Los Angeles? How different were those days?
I mean, I'm from a town with like 7,000 people, so there's not that much to do. You know, you pretty much go to school. I used to like skateboard around, go get soda from 7-Eleven, which wasn't even in my town. I had to go to the next town to go to 7-Eleven. Yeah, so there wasn't really shit to do. And I was very limited in like my musical journey there too. You know, I was taking like guitar lessons, vocal lessons, and all that, but there wasn't really like much to expand into, you know, musically, you know, because once I got like mediocre at all that stuff, I was like the best
in the town.
I was like
just winning every talent show.
Yeah, straight up. But once I moved to LA, like I was exposed to this whole new world of music and like people that were actually doing it on like the professional level. And I think when you're around that, like it pushes you, whether you're aware of it or not, to be better than you are, you know? But, you know, I was pretty much like off rip. I was thrown into like the artist lifestyle like immediately, you know, like, so I had signed with this management company, and that's kind of the reason why I moved out here. and they were like managing every aspect of my life pretty much, like scheduling me for shit, like, you know, and I pretty much went from like going to school to like being a full-time artist, you know, like every day I'd wake up, I'd have shit on my calendar, you know, it was like, it was crazy. So yeah, it definitely was like a culture shock.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think for anyone, like, just, you know, like I want to say though, like, so many people dream of doing that, and at such a young age, like, that's something to be celebrated. It's like making that move, even if, you know, you had the team around you, that was amazing. Like, that was really great. And so I want to now put 16-year-old Finn and then the Finn of now in the same room. What would you tell him to have day one success? What would you set your expectations for? What advice would you give him?
First of all, I just want to say, when I was 16, if I met me now, I probably would have thought I was like the coolest motherfucker, which is dope.
Dude, you kind of are.
No. But yeah, so I definitely was like, I had no fucking clue who I was when I was 16. Like, no one does, you know?
No one does.
But I probably would just tell myself to just be authentically myself, and don't be afraid to like tell someone to fuck off. Because I think for a long time, like, being in an industry with people who are more powerful than you, like, you have to learn how to stand up for yourself, you know? And I feel like I had to go through things that taught me like why it isn't a good thing to let things slide, you know? So
do you mean that like creatively or like in a business sense?
Creatively, business wise, like everything.
Of course, you're also impressionable when
whatever.
You're young.
Yeah, you're impressionable, you know. But like whatever you really believe in, because I had beliefs at the time, I just didn't. I didn't stand too strongly on them, you know. So I would just tell myself to just stand on my beliefs, real strong.
Love that, definitely. And I feel like it's pretty awesome to hear that, and like I think it's a really relatable story to a lot of artists, because as the process goes along, like there's the story of J. Cole with his first album, like you really like you understand the game, you try and play the game, but then like when you're able to kind of break out of that and create the art that you want, that's when you make the best art.
Yeah, 100%.
But also like you're 16 years old, and that's like you're there, like you're learning so much, was incredible.
Yeah, no, it was I wouldn't take any of it back.
Definitely.
You know, like I learned so much during that time. But I didn't really feel like I came into like myself as an artist until I was like 20. That's when I felt like I first made the art that like spoke to me, you know?
And what art was that?
That was like when I started making like Into the Open, Low Key, even the song IDK, which is kind of like, I'm like talking my shit on it, but you know, it was real to me at the time, you know? So that was like the first shit where I was like really, where I felt like it was on a good level where like I could put it out and I was saying shit that I really believed, you know?
Definitely. The synthesis of those two things is very important.
Yeah, because I was making songs on my own since I was like 16, but they were ass, you know? So like I wasn't putting them out, but I just, you know, I loved the process. You know, I would be in the studio all day, and then I'd fucking listen to that shit back, and I would love it, you know? I feel like the most important thing is that you love what you're making, because that's going to make you want to make more shit.
Of course.
You know, because I remember like being in the studio with like this big producer, and I was making beats and shit, and I was like playing in my beats, and he was like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty uncompressed.
And
at the time I was,
and I was like, this is hot.
I didn't even realize he was like throwing shade on my beats at the time. He was kind of just saying like it sounds like amateur, you know?
Yeah,
just like, that sounds uncompressed. And I was like, yeah, man.
This shit
but, you know, I love the shit that I was playing, so like that's all that matters, you know? Like all that matters is that I loved it enough to get to a point where, and to do it enough to where I got to a point where I was like doing it at a high level.
Of course. You know? Do you think that you've put in, you know, are you on that journey of 10,000 hours right now?
Oh, I'm probably like close, if not past it.
You've been doing
I wouldn't
it
say
for
I'm
so
like
long.
an expert in anything, but I think like musically, I've definitely put in the hours, like close to 10,000, if not more.
Because you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, and I probably spend at least like 3 hours, 4 hours a day just making beats, like cooking up.
5 beats a day for 3 summers. That's what Kanye said you had to do.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, 5 beats a day is for 3 summers. I think he said that on what was it, on Spaceships on College Dropout.
That's crazy. I remember when I was like 15, I had first got a laptop.
Yeah.
And I did a beat every day that whole summer. I remember I told myself at the beginning of the summer, I just got out of school, I was on the machine beat pad, and I was like, I'm gonna do a beat every day.
Yeah.
And those beats were all trash, but
like you learn something so unique every single time you do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like it's so funny, even with the songs that you don't release, like I always like catch myself, and like when I'm like I don't want to release that, you still learn something every single time you're on the mic or you're in the DAW. That's awesome.
It also like puts things in your mind that you're able to use in future songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've written like bad songs, but then there's like one line in it where it turned into a whole nother song.
Literally, so many times you were able to recycle it in like an organic way.
Yeah.
When you don't use that, that's so true.
Yeah, it's crazy how that shit works.
Mm-hmm. And I love the journey that you're kind of just like you're illustrating with the move there, and then like you really standing on your morals. And then the beauty of LA is that, you know, you're able to be associated with different parts of the entertainment industry and art. And
Yeah.
you know, I want to ask, when I say the name Young Purd, what does that mean to you?
Young who?
Young Purd?
I don't know who that is.
Were you not on Night Owl High?
No, so that's actually a weird thing. I don't know why, but IMDb thought I was on this show, and I was
Damn
not.
it, dude, I'm 0 for 2 right now with you. Okay, you're gonna have to cut that stuff out when I do that.
No, you can leave that shit in.
That's
That's
hilarious. Though. I tried, man.
Nah, but I remember people used to DM me like asking me shit about that show, and I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
That's so funny.
I have no idea.
I was like, damn, I didn't know he was an actor too. I was super
Bro,
impressed.
I haven't heard that Night Owl High shit. Like that was like when I was like 16. They thought they put me on there,
It was
like on the
2015.
IMDb.
I know, dude.
I
I
don't
saw
know what
that.
the fuck.
I was trying to do my research and I saw that. I'm like, I didn't even know this guy acted, but I was like, I have to ask
No,
about that.
I do want to get into acting, but
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm. And then do you enjoy like songwriting for other people at all? Or do you-
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's like a big part of what I do actually.
yeah, so I wanted to ask, I think it's really amazing that, you know, kind of what we were talking about with different songs and you learn different things. Have you found that wearing the hat of a songwriter for other people has allowed you to improve the songwriting for your own songs? Like when you write a song for someone else, do you learn something and then be able to apply it to the songs that you write for yourself?
Honestly, the thing that happens most is it just makes me upset because I write songs for other people and then I'll be like, man, why couldn't I write that for me?
Yeah.
You know?
But it's inside you, you know, I mean, you can bring it out
Yeah,
again.
but I feel like there's something that happens like when you know you're writing for yourself where you get in your head about it, you know?
100%.
And there's times where that doesn't happen, but then there's times where it does. But when I'm writing for someone else, they're just telling me like a story, you know, and I'll just be like, okay. And then I'll fucking write some shit and it'll be dope as shit. And I'll be like, damn. But, you know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have written it if it wasn't in that situation. So,
Of course.
you know,
And collaboration is such a big part of music.
100%.
And just like, you know, you're investing in your community. You're finding people that, you know, are like-minded like you, that like your work, that, you know, kind of want to branch off that. And then I know that you've described yourself as a, you know, a self-described tech nerd with regards to like music production and working in DAWs. So I wanted to ask, is it more likely that Finn produces the beat of the year or writes the hook of the year?
I'm trying to make the beat and write the hook.
I knew you were gonna say that. Exactly, man. Because
I don't know. I couldn't
you can do
put
both. Because you can do both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome, man.
I couldn't put my finger on which one would be more likely, but you know,
Definitely.
I think I'm like, I'm getting more into like the producing for other artists like on a higher level. You know, like I just had a placement with this artist named Maida, and I produced the title track for her album.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so sick.
Me and Elijah produced it together and
That's
wrote
so sick.
it together.
It's awesome. How'd you guys get in contact?
He had like some contacts at Rock Nation, I think, and then we did the record like in the crib, and then somehow it got to her.
That's dope.
But yeah, I'm kind of like getting more and more in that space every day of like getting in those conversations between like A&Rs when they're like, who are we gonna call for this record? You know, like trying to get my name in those circles, you know, because once you become like the dude that they call, you the dude that they call, you know.
Exactly, man.
Yeah,
you really
so-
develop that relationship.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, so, you know, I love that you dabble so much in the production, because by the way, like having that in the tool belt is like so valuable as an artist. Like you're able to communicate when you're in the studio, you're able to communicate what you want. If it's not your beat, like you understand like how to like communicate. And also when it is your beat, there's a sense of kind of, you know, that you love this and like you're creating something from just your mind. And I wanted to ask though, how quickly when you're creating a beat, do you know that you want to make this into a full song? Do you have to see the process to the end, or do you instantly catch the vibe?
Nah, to be honest, bro, like I don't really make full beats anymore. Like I used to make full arranged tracks, but now I just make like the idea, and then if I hear a melody to it or whatever, then you know it'll kind of bounce back and forth. Like the melody will inspire more the beat, that might inspire another melody or another verse, and then vice versa, and then the song will just kind of just goes as, it just depends like how much creative momentum you have, you know. Sometimes I make a beat and like have a cool melody, but then I'm like I'm not really coming up with any lyrics. I'm just gonna like put this aside, you know, maybe open it another day. But yeah, it's pretty like after I have like a main section of a track, you know, I can kind of like feel the vibe and like see how much it inspires me, you know?
Definitely. It's a feeling.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it's not really some shit you could plan, you know? It's like, all the best songs I've ever made were like, it's almost like God like put all the pieces together for that song to happen.
Totally
and like,
agree.
I'm not even religious, but like, there's no other way I can describe that. Like, there's been times where I'm like, I had to do this in order to make this song, and that shit was ass, but that led me to this song. You know, and I've had relationships that inspired songs that are amazing, and the relationship maybe was a failure, you know, but like, I feel like that's just God putting all those pieces together for like your art to happen, you know?
Love that, man. It's so true. And I've been seeing this clip. I don't know if you've seen it, like Rick Rubin today specifically.
I've been reading his book actually.
Really?
Yeah.
How what have you been learning about yourself and the creative process through that book?
I'm not too far into it. I only read like one chapter.
Yeah, but still.
So I can't speak like fully on it.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll do an updated version of this when
Please
I'm done reading.
do, yeah, because I know,
But,
yeah, because like he's such a one spiritual kind of just guide for us in this creative realm. Like
Yeah.
he has so much success, but he speaks so authentically that we're kind of like, oh, like I want to listen to this person when he
Yeah.
speaks.
I think the way that he talks about art is like really eye opening, you know. And I remember I did read this part where he said that like if you have an idea and you don't fully like execute that idea, the idea like goes somewhere, and then someone else is gonna take that idea. So like if you have a record that deserved to be put out and you didn't put it out, someone else is gonna like make a similar record because that is like what the universe needs to express at this time.
Literally,
And I thought that shit was dope because I feel that, you know.
100%. There's definitely mind share going on, and like the idea of, I love that. Just like the energy is gonna go somewhere else. It's gonna be pushed out because it deserves to be. The world is supposed to hear that theme or sonic sound or any of that. But I think the clip that I saw today, which I think is you're gonna love, is that he was saying that the success is upon creation, and success comes from if you like something so much to share it with other people. That's success. That's what he was saying in music.
That's facts.
It's true, because like, you know, we're in such a digital age where analytics and streaming and social follows are just like they're able to quantify sometimes the success of a song, but I think they could try and strip that back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough like balancing that because, you know, you want to chase numbers, you want to pay your bills, you want to fucking have the money to do the things you want to do, but you also want to like stay free spirited and you want to have that childlike view of it. You know, if you focus too much on the numbers and shit, you get jaded.
100%.
You know, and you like, I noticed when I've been too focused on results, like I don't make good music.
Gets compromised.
Yeah. Even like with producing, like if I'm like overloading myself, like I need to do sessions every day, trying to get placements, trying to get paid, I notice I just don't make as good of music, which is like a self-fulfilling prophecy of not getting where you need to go.
Exactly.
So,
you're not a robot.
No, yeah.
And it's tough, especially in our field, because like you want to be, in the sense, like every single day I have to be doing something and getting closer. But again, like you're not a robot, so give yourself that space to kind of breathe with that. And you know, speaking again, so we're going along this kind of like path you're breaking down, moving here 16, kind of your creative process right now. And you know, even when I saw you on stage, by the way, I want to say this really quick. I forgot to say this in the beginning of the interview, is there's so much value and so much just power in when I hear an artist sound as good live, or if not better than the studio version. And the way that you sounded live at that Peppermint Club show was amazing, man.
Thank you, bro.
Like those vocals sounded so clear.
Thank you, man.
And a lot of times it isn't clear. So I want to say that off the top. And also you were wearing a really sick outfit too. And you seem to have a style.
I was wearing like an orange shirt.
Yeah, with the glasses on.
Yep.
And you know, it seems like, you know, kind of seeing your journey, it seems like your style has kind of developed over the years. As you know, as you've grown, it's normal. But I want to ask, is that Monsters Inc. shirt still your favorite shirt?
Nah.
It's grown?
I like that shirt.
You like that shirt still?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's summer now. Like that shit is sweaty as fuck.
That's what you said in the other part too, that it was sweaty.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of outfit now? What are you wearing right now? Because you know you're
like
grown.
This shirt. I love this shirt.
Yeah, it's fire.
I've been in this shirt like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do this thing with clothes where I'll get really like obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And I won't take them off.
It's like an era.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm very like obsessive about a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
You know, so it could be like clothes or shoes or like if I'll be like in a sunglass vibe for like a month and then I'll like not wear sunglasses, or I'll be in like a snapback vibe.
Yeah.
And then I like won't wear snapbacks anymore. It's like I'm just very like I think I really get into like certain vibes and I go fully into that, you know.
Mm-hmm. You know, and then there's such a relationship with fashion and, you know, the creative world and art. And do you find yourself, because I love that you're saying that like kind of like those different eras, are you finding that, you know, are there specific brands that you really love to rock? Is there a specific, you know, kind of like, do you like this kind of new baggy look that's going on right now?
Yeah, I'd definitely be doing baggy shit, but I wouldn't say there's any specific brands. I kind of just get whatever speaks to me.
Whatever just like looks fucking dope.
Yeah. And I don't really like buy too many clothes, you know.
Yeah,
Like, I kind of just like either like I'll get shit for free or like, you know, I'll trade shit with my friends. Like I do this thing sometimes where I'll be like, yo, let me look in your closet, tell you what I like. If you don't want it, I'll give you some shit out of my closet.
Yeah.
It's kind of fire.
That is dope.
Because I used to just like go and get brands, you know, like go to the store and be like, oh, this is fucking this Gucci shirt, you know. Like I used to do that, but like now I just kind of wear whatever speaks to me. You know, it doesn't matter if it's expensive or brand name. I don't really give a fuck. You know, it could be like a $1 t-shirt from Goodwill. If it looks dope, it looks
100%.
dope.
I mean,
You know?
like thrifting is sick.
Yeah.
You can get so many amazing things. I like the synchronistic nature of like as the music, you're like standing on the morals and kind of like doing that. The same thing with like the clothing, where it's just like whatever you like. And it's like whatever you like with the music, with the clothing, it kind of just comes together.
I think in this day and age too, you got to be like that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know so much about your life now that like they'll see through any of that facade shit. You know, like you can't really hide behind clothes anymore because like when it really comes down to it, you have to be yourself at the end of the day. And,
100%.
like, when it comes down to it, you're gonna be tested in the public eye at some point.
Exactly.
You know, and like when you don't stand up to, or you don't really like fill the shoes of what you're trying to present yourself as, you're just gonna look dumb. You know.
Yeah, and I think it's so true just because like the accessibility that we have now with artists, you're instantly able to sniff out the bullshit or the inauthenticity. Do you think that the accessibility that social media is given there's both benefits and positives? And I know you're definitely
and drawbacks.
Yeah, exactly. And do you see that, like, what do you view as the best parts of social media for what you're doing and some of the drawbacks?
I mean, the best parts is that I can just share my art, you know, and like there's really no limit to the amount of audience it could reach potentially. So that's the best part. I'm not too into like, I'm not the dude who's like posting everything he's doing, you know, like you can follow me, I'll post pictures and shit, but like you're not going to know where I'm at 24/7. You know, some people have that vibe, like that's not really my thing. I prefer to just keep it more around the music, but I would say the worst thing is probably like seeing other people's career paths and then comparing yourself to that. You know, like you got to really like let that shit go.
Totally agree.
You know, because I could see another like kid who's the same age as me, like doing similar music, and I'm like, why is he getting more likes than me? It's just like, at the end of the day, like we're all out here just trying to live our dreams. You know, like I don't got nothing against the next guy for doing that.
Yeah, it's like it's I always try and it's such a normal thing that we go through, and I always kind of go back to, you know, my old therapist told me this idea of abundance mindset. Like there's enough for everyone. Yeah. Like and when you put that energy out into the world, you definitely receive that, which is really great. And I'm happy to hear that you're aligned with that. And
yeah, man,
it's important because like
I think we can like. Here's my thing. Like, I have no business trying to shoot down someone who's dope. If anything, I'm gonna go try to be their friend so we can be dope together and we can maybe like feed off each other's dopeness. You know. Literally.
Cross-pollination and just like, you know, expanding just the network, and it's really important. And I love that. I love that open mindset. It's very, very important. Like that's what I see as the most successful thing in young artists and just like what they want to do. And, you know, I want to say, speaking of dope artists, I think it's time we go back to the board. All right. And speak about an incredibly dope artist and album. So we're going to stick with the first round. Right now, we're going to go with Gravity, which we both thought were going to be number one. Gravity versus The Heart of Life. Which song do you like more?
Gravity.
Why?
I love the simplicity of Gravity. Like there's really not any verses or like sections. It's literally like a chorus and then like a bridge B section, and then it just goes back to the chorus, and then back to the bridge, and then back to the chorus. I love how there's like, what he wrote is so impactful that you don't need to like put other shit on there. You know, like you can play. I feel like the best songs you can play over and over and over again, and it still means just as much. It's like that Gravity chorus. Even like the third or fourth time it comes around, it still is like hitting, you know. And you don't need to like put all this crazy production and shit. You know, it's just like, I have this song I wrote with Elijah actually, called "Forever's Not Long Enough." And I actually got a tattoo of it.
That's
of the
sick.
lyric just the other day.
Yeah. Also, that's an amazing title for a song. I love that.
Thank you.
That's sick.
But the whole thing is built on this concept of like, forever's not long enough, together's not close enough. And the whole verse is like building on that, and then it has this B section, and then it goes back to that. So you don't even know like what the chorus is, what the verse is, like it's just a vibe.
I know exactly what you mean. Like when the song does that. That's
and
awesome.
That song, Gravity, actually came to mind when I was writing that. It was like, in terms of like how I could structure it.
Is that song out?
No. We just made it like.
Dude, I want to listen.
We just made it like I'll play it after.
Yeah, I'm just.
We
like,
just made it like 2 or 3
selfishly.
weeks ago.
I love that, man. That's sick, and you already got the tattoo. I love that.
Yeah, it just spoke to me, you know.
Dude, 100%. I mean, like, it's your music. It's super authentic, and you know, Gravity is an incredible song. And then finally, to end the first round, Stop This Train versus Dreaming with a Broken. Instantly, quick, man. You're like the GM of a basketball team. That's the first pick. Why?
Stop This Train is just, honestly, I'd put that like top 5 songs of all time.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Ooh, we got an early contender, but I think it's gonna win.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But
yeah, of course.
Stop This Train. If you listen to it, like, I'm only 23, but I can relate to it so much of just growing up and like feeling like life is passing you by, and like dealing with all the emotions that come with that. And it's just a beautiful story. You know, I feel like even in the last 3 years, I'm like a different person than I was. And like, I probably will be a different person in 3 more years.
Definitely will.
You know, but at the end of the day, like, we all just want to like sit back and like savor the moment. But at the same time, like, we have so much shit we want to do, so much shit that we haven't done. And that song just like encapsulated all that perfectly.
And it's such a universal sentiment. Like, we all agree, from me to you, even.
Yeah, everyone gets old. Ain't no way around
exactly.
it.
Does, you know, I kind of want to probe a little bit about like the time passing you by. Do you miss like any of the times in like Linwood? Like, do you miss like that childhood? Or are you so happy to be where you're at now?
I'm happy to be where I'm at, but you know, I miss being a kid too. Like, not having any responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know, just getting out of school, like skateboarding around, like getting into whatever fucking bullshit you can get into, you know. It's like, there's definitely times where you miss that, you know. But then as a kid, like, I wanted to be doing everything I'm doing now. So it's like a double-edged sword, you know.
Of course, man. The grass is always greener.
Yeah.
What were the summers like in Linwood?
It was cool. I mean, like, there's beautiful beaches in New Jersey.
Yeah,
so,
seriously, there are.
You know, we used to go to the beach a lot in the summer, just fucking skateboard around, bike, like, you know, just get into whatever, you know. It's like, you know, we filled our time with just wasting time.
That's a bar. That's why we write songs. Everyone.
That's a bar. Right?
That was a bar right there. That's sick, man. I think it's especially when it's summer, and just like I kind of wanted to get that picture, and you know, and get transported back there, man, because like it is such a powerful thing that we all miss. Like those summers when I think about it when I was a kid, it's just like I'm from Manhattan Beach, so I was at the beach as well.
Oh, fire.
And just like, you know, just the lack of responsibility and the outpouring of optimism. You're just like the entire day, like, this is my fucking world. I can do whatever I want, man. So
yeah, and you know, you go to the beach and then you come home and you don't got to think about like checking your email.
Oh my God, making sure I posted today.
You got to think about posting. You don't got to think about content.
Yeah.
You don't got to think about checking your bank account.
That's the one.
It's just, you know, it's a nice life. But then there's things about this life that are way better than being a kid.
There's a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do what you want. Especially as you get older and, you know, the financial freedom starts to come into play. It's
yeah, we're not there yet, but we get there.
Trust me, I wish, man. We're on the same path. We got this, man. I know that I know one time you actually brought up on your Twitter that one of the things you're most excited about when you get rich and famous is to stock your fridge with great drinks.
Bro, you really dug deep.
Yeah, so I want to ask, what drinks would be in that fridge, man? I'm like really fascinated with that because that's such a great. I saw that and I was like, that's fucking awesome.
I always like, whenever I went over like someone's house when I was younger and like their parents had money or whatever,
It's always stocked.
and I saw their fridge just stocked with shit, I would be like, that's so dope.
It's so true.
And like I always just wanted that.
And you never think about that, but it's so funny. That's so true.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but I would definitely have some yerba mates in there.
Bro. 100%.
Topo Chico.
Yeah.
Sparkling water.
Yeah.
Gas.
Fire.
Probably some beers, you know, for the kids.
For the kids, just
Yeah,
like
you
just
know.
if you have an event, you have a function.
Yeah.
100%.
Maybe some vitamin water.
Water's fire. I'm picturing the fridge right now. It's a great fridge, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a soda guy, so I probably wouldn't have no soda.
Yeah, I don't think I would either.
But yeah, and water.
We need the water, dude. Thanks for exercise. For doing that exercise, man. I thought that was just it was
Yeah.
it was
I'm
so
sure I could think of more shit.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
that's perfect. I feel like you need your energy drink, you need your
Yeah.
beer, soda, whatever, like whatever you need in there.
Yeah.
What's your favorite beer?
I'm not too much of a drinker, but I like Coronas.
Coronas are
Yeah,
fire.
they're classic, you know.
Yeah, smart. I think
What about you?
my favorite beer,
Yeah.
Peroni.
Peroni?
It's like Peroni. It's like an Italian beer.
Is it a? I think I had that in London.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. My girlfriend, her sister, and her sister's boyfriend, we always like get them together. So it's kind of like a
That's fine.
memory thing, man. It's like so cheesy. I just said that online, but whatever. I love it.
the memories.
Now I wanna, as we're breaking down this album, it's really important to also focus on Finn's art and how much of a fan I am of it, and how much that I think there's value in just allowing artists to speak about it. So with that in mind, I have chosen 3 lines from the song that Finn's going to be performing for us. And
Die
I'd love for
Alone.
you, and like look, man, it's up to, I know like art is all about just like, if you want to be like kind of like, vague with it, if you want to explain it to the T,
Yeah.
it's whatever you want, man. So
Okay.
the first one that I chose, me and my team chose these. I think it's cute when you get sad and try to take control. You think it's cute when I get mad and keep it on the low.
Yeah. I think that's just like kind of like talking about the power dynamic that happens in relationships, and like if someone is feeling insecure, they might try to like go overly trying to like, be in control of themselves because they don't want to be like, they don't want to have their emotions so at someone else's whim, And then I think as men, we all understand like being mad and like not really knowing how to express it in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
So, keeping that shit on the low and like trying not to be a fucking dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But also like learning how to communicate that properly.
Of course, it's tough.
know?
And like also it's like tough, I feel like, when you're a guy, to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So you want to show your girl like, I'm fine. Like,
Yeah. You don't want to be like, that shit made me upset.
Yeah, exactly. But I also think it's smart, like not smart, that's not the right word. I love that like there's such like a great positioning on that of like, you don't want to be rude to your girl. You want to just be like a dick.
Yeah.
You want to try and keep that inside and like,
Gotta be a sweetheart,
and like
man.
learn, and what is it?
Gotta be a gentleman.
You want to be a gentleman,
And a
yeah.
sweetheart.
And like really, and like that's so true. And like there's so many guys that aren't that. So like just to make that effort's amazing. And then
Yeah.
so the second one, there are so many incredible lines. I was sad I only got to choose 3, but watch you smile while you sleep at night. Your skin was glowing in the candlelight. I wrote you a song. Can't wait to show you in the morning. These other problems, baby, so unimportant.
So yeah, I have this thing where I like to, this is going to come off crazy. I like to just like watch people in their sleep.
It's
know,
like a
like-
normal, it's like a normal,
If
like
I'm in a
intimacy.
relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
Not
like,
when you're not a random person.
no, not No, but like if I'm in a
Yeah.
relationship, like I think it's cute when the girl's sleeping, and you
Of
just
course.
like stroke her hair,
Yeah.
like maybe like put the blanket up on her, if it fell down.
Sign of
And I love
affection.
candles. Yeah, me and my girl love candles. I mean, who doesn't? But,
Yeah.
and then what's the next line?
It's waking up in the morning with these other problems, baby, so
Oh,
unimportant.
wrote you a song.
Yeah, I wrote you a song.
I just think it's cool, when you write a song about someone, you can't wait to show them.
That's awesome.
That's kind of like tapping into that.
And like it's so unique. Only you could do that, or like only an
Yeah.
artist could do that. So that's like a new level of like intimacy and just like loving, which is really awesome.
Yeah, it's also hard to like tell someone that the song's about them.
Yeah,
You know?
I know what you mean.
So
You're like, you play it for them, you're like,
or they'll be like, "Who's this about?"
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
just
You're like, damn. What do you think this is about? Also, I just want to say the imagery with the glowing and the candlelight was awesome.
Thank you,
It's one of the
man.
reasons
Thank
I
you.
chose that. And then finally, I know it's hard for you to grasp because your past, it happened crazy. Got me praying like somebody who would die without you lately. That was fucking sick.
Thank you, man.
But yeah, please talk about that.
Honestly, like none of these lines like they have meaning behind them, but I didn't really think
Of course.
that
Yeah.
hard. Like this shit
And
was
that's
mostly
normal.
off the dome.
And that's normal. I know that it was the
Um,
acoustic when you were playing. Yeah, so on the
yeah.
switch, yeah.
So
But just like, what does it mean to you when you hear that? It's pretty
I
much.
mean, a lot of like myself included, a lot of people have like trauma from their past relationships. You know, might be a little insecure. Might be hard to like believe someone's intentions. You know, so if someone's telling you that they love you, you might have been shown by someone else that like that's not something you should trust.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes people just have problems like taking what you're saying at face value, even if you know you're being honest. Like you got to recognize that they might have been in some situations where, you know, it put things in their head. Like maybe they don't believe that you love them. Maybe they don't think they're worthy of love, you know?
That's a big one, actually. A lot of people feel that.
Yeah.
They're
So-
their own worst enemies.
Yeah. And then the got me praying like somebody who would die without you lately. That's just like, you know, in your heart, when you know you want someone, you just trying to do everything in your power to keep them. You know, even if they might be running away because they're insecure or they're scared to open up, you know, there's like so many ways it could go.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think I love just the emotional side of that. And especially with like I don't know, my mom's a therapist, and there's these things called trauma.
That's dope.
Yeah, there's these things called trauma bonds when people are in a trauma bond. And
I
like
heard about that.
Yeah, and there's like
Go a
two.
little further into
Yeah,
it.
there's like two. He's testing me right now, Mom. I hope I got this right for you. But it's like when two people are like both. There's like probably an aggressor and then someone that's receiving the aggression, but from the conditioning, like they're together in this, and they're both kind of like putting their own, energy into it. So
Yeah.
it's like the trauma bond that exists is like kind of like when someone's not worthy of love and you're like outpouring it and they're not receiving it, but then you're chasing after it, but they keep coming back to you. It's just I just like
Yeah.
love that sentiment, man. Like just like the whole energy of this song, Die Alone, the title
Thank you, man.
is awesome.
I'm working hard to get it out soon.
Please do, man. The first line about I said I would only do 3. I'm sorry, I like the song. If I make it sunny by you, wherever you
Oh,
are.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that line, man. It reminds me of Mac Miller a little bit, like something he would say. So I love
Thank
that.
you, man.
And then I want to still kind of keep with just the theme of your music. So I know that in August of 2021, you released a cover of Moon by Donda.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know I listened to it, fire, but I know that sadly it was taken down, on some of the
Yeah.
streaming stuff because of
You probably saw my tweet about that, huh?
I did see the tweet about that. And I think it's really important though, because I want to ask you your opinion on this. Like what, do you think that it's advantageous for people to see remixes? Do you think it only helps with the exposure of the song?
Yeah, I think it depends. Like, I wasn't out to make no money off that. I wasn't like trying to take credit for it. That's another thing. But like, I think someone putting their own spin on art is like, it should be fair game, And if anything, it's only going to bring more people to the original.
Totally agree.
Yeah, but
It's a great cover.
yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, that
I
was-
worked hard on that shit.
Well,
I love that shit.
I thought it was also dope because you added your own verse. It wasn't just like
Yeah.
a chorus you added. I remember I saw one of the comments is like, what's the third verse? You're like, that's me. Like you're like, I added
Yeah.
that.
There was also a comment that was like, I loved everything except the Finn Mathews remix.
Oh, I saw that. That's crazy.
I'm like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, I mean, like that's just the nature. Someone just wanted to do that.
No,
but
yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that was sick. I loved it. And I want to ask, remixes and covers are such an important part of music. What are some of your favorite remixes or covers of all time, off the top of your head?
Frank Ocean's cover of Moon River.
Crazy.
Crazy.
I love Frank.
That shit, like, the original is genius on its own, but like the modern spin that he put on it was like crazy.
And like to bring back to your point, really quick, and I'll let you continue, is like there's Frank Ocean fans that didn't know about that song before Frank Ocean covered it. So he's only
Yeah.
bringing
Of course.
publicity to like, so they should
Yeah.
allow those.
I'm not gonna lie, I spun Moon River back when I heard the Frank Ocean version.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Is there any other, have you discovered any cool artists off of like a remix that you could like think on the top of your head? Or you can just continue with just your favorite remixes or covers of all time.
I found Tame Impala off of the Rihanna Same Old Mistakes.
Really?
Yeah, because
that's so
that
sick.
Rihanna like redid that song.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally Tame Impala's song.
Yeah, exactly, on Currents.
So I found him off that.
Wow, that's so sick. See, like exactly, like that's the sentiment that we're getting at, where it's like you just discover these incredible artists and these covers are such an important thing. So that's awesome. And speaking again, incredible artists, incredible songs. I want to go back to the board. We're in the semifinals right now. It's only going to get more difficult. These are songs you've already chosen that you liked over other songs. Excuse me. So let's do the first one. It's going to be Slow Dancing in a Burning Room versus Stop This Train.
Oh,
ooh, I know, man.
Dude, that's going to hurt me.
It's the nature of the beast. It's going to get harder.
Oh,
man. No one's ever going to forgive you for what I know, man. Exactly. These are the reactions I want, by the way.
All right, let me think about this.
Dude, take your time. This isn't like a easy one. We're chilling. I'm just chilling here with Caden.
Shout out.
Shout out, Caden. It's tough. They're both so well written.
Yeah, I'm saying Stop This Train.
Boom.
What to say.
What you were thinking on that for a while. What was the thought process?
I was just thinking about like, what would I love in 20 years? Like, what would still speak to me on the same level in 20 years?
Wow. That's a great answer.
I think that one.
I love that. That's a great answer, actually. It's so funny. As it continues, you have to dig deeper. You're like, you really have to make that choice. But I agree with you. Stop This Train is amazing. I love, again, your love for lyrics and like the energy that it conveys and transfers to you. That's really awesome. Now it's going to be Vultures on the other side. It's going to be Vultures versus Gravity.
Gravity.
That was a quicker one. Why do you think that was a quicker one for you?
I just think I think even John Mayer would probably answer that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I feel that. It's a 3 seed versus 7 seed. I feel that.
Yeah.
Gravity, there's a power. There's a power when a song is so well known, but it's still so quality. Because sometimes it gets diluted. Yeah. Kind of what you were saying with Waiting on the World to Change, like when you hear it 1,000 times. Yeah. It's interesting though that Gravity has that same level of popularity, but it hasn't had that effect on you. Yeah. That speaks to it.
That is crazy.
It is crazy.
I think because it leaves so much to the imagination, like I was saying. Like there's not that many lyrics in it. Mm-hmm. There's like 2 sections.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
So you can like pretty much apply it to whatever. Mm-hmm. You can apply it to a relationship. You can apply it to work. You can apply it to personal struggles. That's
so true. It fits so many different hats. Whoa. Yeah. That's really great. And then I know this is the most cliche question in an interview, but I'm honestly just interested. What are like your top 3 influences, would you say?
Oh, influences?
Yeah.
I thought you said influencers for a second. I was like, I didn't know this was like
that
Kim kind
Kardashian.
Of interview, bro.
No, that's hilarious. Not
Kim Kardashian, bro.
Yeah. What's it called? I don't even know any other ones off the top of my head.
Bro.
Yeah, so influences music-wise. Then influencers, social media. No,
Can I expand it to 5?
Please.
Okay. So these are in no particular order. I'm just gonna rattle some shit off. Would say Stevie Wonder, John Mayer, Brandy.
Woo.
I
love it. The great thought. I really appreciate that. Also, you're just a music head in general. So there's
a lot of albums running through my brain.
Yeah, there's so many artists that you love. So it makes sense. It's good though.
I'm gonna throw Kanye in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he revolutionized not only rap music but pop music as well.
Mm-hmm. In what way?
I think he brought like the gritty sonics into radio shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wow.
Like before that, it was all like clean, well produced, like pop.
100% very clean.
And like,
yeah.
When you hear like Love Lockdown on the radio, or Heartless.
Yeah, seriously.
Or even like Stronger. It's like it's a pop beat, but like
it's different.
Yeah, it's different.
The drums are like muddy and they, like everything just like they're like progressive and just it's so sick.
I think he just like revolutionized that,
Mm-hmm.
And then one more.
Mm-hmm. Your starting 5, your Mount Rushmore. Kanye is one of my favorites too. He's so good.
So good. Minus all that.
Is 808? I know it's tough
all
right now. It's tough to defend his. Yeah, it's really tough.
But, I mean, there's no defending it, Yeah,
you can.
But
I'm Jewish, so it's like it's tough.
Damn.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta just let the music, like, for like Graduation, 808s, and Heartbreak, like.
Mm-hmm. Is 808s your favorite album?
I would say Graduation.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
but I'd say they're pretty close.
Yeah. Cause like, you keep bringing up.
To me, like those albums don't represent that other shit.
Of course.
You know, so it's like, I feel like I'm one of those. I know there's like a conversation of like separating the music from the artist, like their behavior in real life, separating that from what they put out, and like I feel like I'm pretty good at separating that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because I think even like bad people can make beautiful art that opens your eyes to crazy shit,
Mm-hmm, exactly. Like if you're able to learn from their actions and never repeat them, then it's good.
Yeah.
But you can still appreciate what they offered in a positive manner.
Yeah, and you can always think like someone who might be like. Also, I know someone who has the same exact
the table. I feel like I've seen that table too. I love that, man. Your eye for detail.
I mean, it's right there. It's not that much. It's not that fine a detail. But yeah, like I'll see people who maybe don't really do what they preach in their music in real life, but it maybe gives you hope that like deep down they really know right from wrong, and maybe they just have shit they're working through.
Of course, definitely. I mean, yeah, there's with Kanye also. I think there's some mental health stuff.
Of course,
involved, so that makes sense.
And it's really sad all around,
Yeah, for every party, it's bad. 100%.
But off of that controversial shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, like it's like this is a music podcast, and that's fair. I think it was approached in a very appropriate and nice way.
Of course,
Do you have your 5, or do you want to just do Mount Rushmore 4? You've given great answers.
I'm gonna say this, and it's kind of left field, but this artist,
I don't
know if it's a band or just one guy, called Five for Fighting.
Yeah.
100 Years.
Yes, thank you. I love that song.
But that was
it's a great music video too.
Yep, that was like some of the first music that I really felt like touched my soul. I remember when I was like, I had to be like 4 years old, maybe like 3, and I remember I heard that song, and
there's something
I couldn't like tell you really what was running through my mind, but I just remember like feeling how meaningful that was. Even at 4 years old, like I didn't understand half of the lyrics, but like melodically and like the changes, like it really touched me.
It's also it's a linear story that's easy to follow too, no matter what.
It's kind of the same concept as Stop This Train. And
that's why it probably spoke to you. They're similar songs, so it makes sense. Actually, it's pretty congruent in that way. That's awesome. Well, thank you for. I'll put you on the spot with this one. So that one, thank you. I literally gave you no prep, so that was awesome. Great. So now that we have the semifinals done, we have the finals, which are going to be Gravity versus Stop This Train. But before we do that, I would love to have the audience listen to one of your songs. Because I think it's really important that while we're having this conversation, they should really also understand how talented you are as a musician. So would you be down to play something?
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's get it going.
All right, let's get it. This song's called Die Alone. This song's called Die Alone. I hope y'all like it.
Girl, I swear, yeah, there's nothing like you. If I controlled the weather, it'd be sunny by you. I don't care, we could sleep until 2. We could do whatever if it's feeling right. Ooh, I watch you smile while you sleep at night. Yeah, you stay around me like a satellite. I wrote you a song, can't wait to show you in the morning. These are the problems, baby, so unimportant. But but we can talk about it if you want to, and we can fight about it if you want to, and we can fuck about it if you really want to, if you really want to. I'm sick of games we play, I'm sick of all the highs and lows. Too many sleepless nights, I hate yous and I told you so's. I think it's cute when you get sad and try to take control. You think it's cute when I get mad and keep it on the low. Fuck it, who cares, just hold me close. Yeah, it's you and me, don't nobody gotta know shit. Will you stop asking about these other hoes? Yeah, and I'll stop asking if you love me so much. If you know me like I know you do, yeah, and if you trust me like I know you don't, you know that I ain't getting over you, yeah. There ain't no limit to the ways I love you. I watch you smile while you sleep at night, yeah. Your skin was glowing in the candlelight. I wrote you a song, can't wait to show you in the morning. These are the problems, baby, so unimportant. But we can talk about it if you want to, and we can fight about it if you want to, and we can fuck about it if you really want to, if you really want to. If you wanna make that happen, we could, it's nothing. I don't want no bullshit, I just want the love and passion. I know it's hard for you to grasp because your past that happened crazy. Got me praying like somebody that would die without you lately. So fuck it, just hold me close, yeah, you the only one that I need the most. And never switch up like a change of clothes. And it brings me pain to think about the fact that someday you might go. If I don't find another you, I guess I'll die alone.
Yo,
Thank you,
holy
guys.
shit. All right, first of all, I want to say really quick, man, whenever I have an artist come on here, the faces that I make are just gonna be memes because I'm fucking
wish I could see
grinning.
it.
Dude, you'll see that it's fucking so sick, man. Just the switch ups of the flows and just the voices, to do that in one setting, like that's amazing, man.
Thank you.
I can tell the 10,000 hours getting put into play.
Yeah, it's almost there.
Dude, it's almost,
Yeah.
also the fucking lyrics are super sick. And just, I love
Thank
like
you,
the
man.
little rapping part in the beginning. That was tough.
Yeah, you know, like I'm super inspired by rap music, and like I love incorporating that shit into like, you know, because I'm really like R&B, pop, like that's where I'm at. But like, you know, incorporating any of that shit into like my sound is cool.
Hmm. I feel like I can always really hear that, and like especially in the Psycho song I was kind of telling you about, you had like a little bit of that flow when you were saying you're waking up making beats in the morning. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that, dude. It was
So
awesome.
what did I say? Like make a beat by 11 or something?
Yeah, and then have breakfast.
Yeah.
And then man, let's keep with it. You got your guitar in your hand, or you can put it on there, whatever you want. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's amazing job with that, man.
Thank you,
That
man.
fucking
Thank
put a smile on my face. And now,
I'm trying to get that shit out, you know.
please do, man.
try
I would
to
love
put
to
it out.
promote it. If you wanna, we can make sure that it syncs up with this pod, whatever you want. And it's time though, man. The decision's only gonna be tougher. I'm sorry to do this for you, to you, not for you, to you.
For me.
Finn Mathews.
You're doing this for me, bro.
Stop This Train versus
right.
Gravity. Let's end this with a bang. What's your favorite song?
You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
They're ready.
Are you ready?
Caden's in the back, like,
All right.
Caden's like, you talking to me?
My decision, after many years of contemplation,
Many years.
stop this train.
Boom! Gravity in that statement. Nah, Stop This Train, man, is the winner. And
No
you
pun
know
intended.
what, man?
Or pun intended.
No pun intended with that. So I was lyrical miracle. No. This, I was gonna say, after the way that you spoke about Stop This Train, I had a sense that this was gonna go the
Yeah, I kind of
distance.
gave it away. I was early. I jumped the gun.
No, it was
but-
still. I mean, like with when you took your time between these two. I like that. You were like really thinking about all the different elements, man. But again, so is there something left to say about Stop This Train that you haven't said already, or do you think it kind of you've laid it out there?
The only thing I'm gonna say is what I already said, but it also has the simplicity of Gravity. You know, like there's not that much going on in the production. It's not trying to be anything. It's just telling a story. And I think that the part that really like takes it over the top is that the part at the end where he says, had to talk with my old man, said, help me understand. He said, turn 68, you'll renegotiate.
Ooh, that's heavy.
That part I think is like, I just don't know what the fuck John Mayer was smoking when he wrote that, but I want some of that
Whatever it is, man. That's
Yeah.
so sick. I agree.
Yeah.
That's like just like 68 negotiate. What a great internal rhyme, and just like paints such a vivid picture, man. But look, you've it's like in Hot Ones. You've run the gauntlet. No, like you finished the bracket, man.
We
You
did it.
did an amazing job with that.
March
You performed
Madness over
live. You
here.
broke down bars. You've done so much stuff on this podcast, man. I want to let you speak about what you got on the horizon, just to allow these listeners to support you in any way, man. So what do you have going on the rest of the year?
First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me, man. It's been fun as shit.
Of course, man. Thank you for coming on.
As far as what I got going on, I got a couple projects I'm working on. And I don't want to say too much, but look out for new music very soon, within the next month or so. And I'm about to just be spamming the internet with new music. So keep a lookout for that. And I'm about to take y'all on a journey, because this music goes on a wave that follows my life. So the music that's about to come out was like mostly written last year.
Oh, wow.
And I don't really like necessarily think I'm in the same place mentally as I was when I wrote it, which is why I have another project that I'm writing now.
That makes sense, actually.
So
Wow.
you're going to hear where I was last year, and you're just going to get to follow along with my life with a little bit of a delay.
That's so sick.
But yeah, I think there's a real character arc, and like I've played it for people and they agree.
Really?
You know, like the lyrics and the shit I've been writing lately is like, it's more grounded, it's more mature. You know, it's like, it's more me, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's less fear involved.
I love hearing
There's
that.
less facade, you know, and like, not to say that the other music's fake, but it was a real time in my life, you know, where maybe I had these walls up, you know? And so as I've like done the work on myself, you can hear that reflection in the music. So I just want to say, keep a lookout for that. And that's all I got to say.
Well, no pun intended. That's music to my ears. Finn's an incredible artist. Please check out his music. We're going to drop all of his socials in the bio for all the people listening on Spotify. We will have it in the bio of the episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Vibe Called West Radio.
Vibe Called West Radio.
Episode done.